Heyo! What is up, guys? Baby Beluga here, and today we are going to talk about the new top defenders in Pokemon Go. It made drastic changes to the way we battle now. So obviously there's going to be some changes and there's going to be new top defenders. A little about the new update. You can only collect a maximum of 50 coins a day now instead of your regular 100. So for about every 10 minutes your Pokemon isn't in gym, you'll get 1 coin. So in order to get the maximum amount of coins from one Pokemon, your Pokemon will need to hold that gym for about 8 hours and 20 minutes. And the only way you can collect those 50 coins is if your Pokemon gets kicked out. So someone's got to kick your Pokemon out after 8 hours and 20 minutes for you to get your maximum amount of coins from that one Pokemon. So whenever you put a Pokemon in a gym, just know the maximum amount of coins that Pokemon is going to give you is 50 coins. So obviously this is going to change the Pokemon you should be placing into gyms and the Pokemon you shouldn't be placing into gyms. Because honestly, you only want them in there for 8 hours because that's when you're going to get the maximum benefit from it. So a little about the new gym mechanic itself. Pokemon are now based on motivation, which can be shown by these little hearts near your Pokemon in the gym. When the heart is full, the Pokemon is at its max CP and its full motivation. Once its motivation goes down, its CP goes down. It degrades over time and it also goes down when you lose a battle, or if someone's battling you and they defeat you, it'll go down. A huge update to take into consideration that changes the previous top defenders is now Pokemon with over 3,000 CP will lose motivation at a rate of 10% an hour, versus if it's lower than 3,000, you will only lose motivation at 1% an hour. If you place a CP 3,000 Dragonite in the gym, after 1 hour, you will now become 2,700 CP. If you place a CP 2,999 Dragonite in the gym, after 1 hour, his CP will become 2,970. So in reality, the lower CP Dragonite becomes stronger than the high PC one, as long as it's under the 3,000. It's weird. I think it's just a way to see more gym diversity. Instead of seeing your typical Uber Pokemon, you're now seeing pretty fun gyms to battle. Pokemon you never really encountered in a gym before, you're now seeing everywhere. Now, it all depends on how you want to use this. Some people, including myself, will sometimes still use a CP 3000 Pokemon because you know you're most likely going to get that Pokemon back at the end of the day. Its motivation is going down, chances are you're going to get that back after or maybe even before 8 hours. So if your goal is to get 50 coins a day, then maybe having a 3000 CP Pokemon isn't such a bad idea. So the original defenders could stay the same in this regard. If your goal is to keep your Pokemon in the gym for as long as possible, then here's the new top defending Pokemon for Pokemon Go. Now this list is based off base HP and base defense of a Pokemon with limited weaknesses. So any Pokemon with ×4 weaknesses or ×2 weaknesses will not be included, since how relatively easy they are to take down if the attacker is aware of type advantages and type disadvantages. Okay, so going right into it, the number 6 best Pokemon to have in your gym is Vaporeon. Vaporeon is one of the Pokemon you can get right from the beginning if you get an Eevee. Its base defense stat is 177, which is the lowest of this list, but what makes him a top defender is his high HP stat at 260. The best type of Vaporeon to place in the gym is the defensive moveset of Water Gun and Aqua Tail. And on top of that, Vaporeon is honestly one of the best raid counters you can use. He's extremely effective against high-level raids like Tyranitar, Rhydon, and Charizard. If you encounter a Vaporeon, the best way to counter him, his weakness is Grass and Electric. So an Executor with Bullet Seed or Solar Beam would be the best counter, but using a Venusaur, Vileplume, Victory Bell, or even Jolteon will be just as effective. Number 5, Lapras. So Lapras has made a return after his CP nerf, and he's now ranked at number 5 of the top defenders. His defense is slightly better than Vaporeon's at 180, and he shares the same high HP at 260. His best defensive moveset is a Legacy move, which means one of the moves are no longer available, so unless you caught the Lapras before, chances are you'll never get this moveset. That moveset is Ice Shard and Ice Beam, but the next best defensive moveset would be Ice Breath and Ice Beam. Lapras is also really effective in Supreme Raids because of his high DPS. The best way to counter a Lapras? Machamp. Lapras is weak to fighting, so a Machamp with any fighting moves will do the trick. Other good counters are Heracross, Jolteon, and any electric Pokemon should do the trick as well. Number 4 is Umbreon. So Umbreon has a lower HP at 190, but he makes up for it with his 250 defense stat. It makes him a tank. You're not going to see a high CP on him, but his defensive stat makes up for it. He has 2 top defensive movesets. Both consist of Snarl, and if you have either Dark Pulse or Foul Play, they will both be equally effective at defending. Umbreon has 3 weaknesses: Bug, Fairy, and Fighting. If you come across an Umbreon, some good options to fight him would be any Bug type, especially Heracross. Muck is also a good counter against them. But you're looking for a Pokemon that has Bug Move, Fairy, or Fighting. Number 3 is Steelix. So Steelix has the lowest HP of the group at 150, but it shares the highest defensive stat on our list at 333. Steelix has 2 top defending movesets, Dragon Tail. While Iron Tail has Stab, the majority of Steelix's counter resists steel type damage. Both moves have the same base damage, but Dragon Tail has a slightly better energy gain. And then Heavy Slam as a charge up move. Steelix actually has a lot of resistance, but Pokemon that will do good against countering him include Fire, Ground, Water, and Fighting. Number 2 on our list is Snorlax. Snorlax has great coverage at 320 HP and 190 defense. He has 2 superior defensive movesets, one being Zen Headbutt and Hyper Beam, and the other one being Zen Headbutt and Body Slam. Hyper Beam outputs the highest DPS, although its move duration leaves yourself pretty vulnerable. But it's not usually a problem for a Pokemon as bulky as Snorlax is. And Body Slam puts out slightly less DPS than Hyper Beam, but it can be thrown down more often. Snorlax is only weak against fighting Pokemon, so Machop would be your best counter if you encounter a Snorlax. Other good counters would include Heracross, Ursaring, Alakazam, and Dragonite because Dragonite's high DPS. Number 1, this stupid Pink Devil. I think I'm just jealous because they don't have one, but Blissey continues to be the best defensive Pokemon in Pokemon Go. It has an extremely high HP at 510, mixed with his highest defense at 229. It basically makes him the best Pokemon defender in Pokemon Go. In the regular Pokemon games, Blissey actually had a really low defensive stat, but he had a really high special defense. I doubt Pokemon Go will ever change their statistics in the game. So yeah, they're never going to change it. So expect Blissey to always remain at number 1 unless they do huge changes. Blissey has 2 top defensive movesets. One is Zen Headbutt and Dazing Gleam, and the other one is Pound in Dazing Gleam. So Dazing Gleam, it hits more frequently, quicker, and is super effective against some of the best counters. So Dragonite, Tyranitar, and Machop. Like Snorlax, Blissey is only weak to fighting. But again, fighting is weak to fairies, so you really need to be careful if you're using a fighting counter. So really, you want to use any Pokemon with a high DPS. Battling a Blissey, you have to worry about timing out. You want to give yourself enough time to take it down. I like to use my Alakazam. He has 2 fighting moves on him, and normally he's really good at dealing a lot of damage because of his high attack stat. So that's the new list. As long as your Pokemon aren't over CP 3000, they will be regarded as the top defenders currently in the game. Of course, there's tons of other lists out here, but this list, again, it's only going to take into consideration the HP of your Pokemon, defense, and whether or not it has different type weaknesses, super effective weaknesses. But remember, your Pokemon will only bring you back 50 coins, so maybe using one of these Pokemon isn't the most beneficial use. But that's up to you. You decide how you want to play the game. That's the point of the game. Play it the way you want to play it. Have fun with it. If you want to use all the Eevee Evolutes in the gym, so be it. Just have fun while doing it. But these Pokemon are regarded as the best in the defensive category when it comes to defending gyms. Let me know what you guys think. Is there a Pokemon that didn't make the list that you guys thought should? Post it in the comments and I will see you in the next one.